Morning YouTubers. I've wet this piece of £90 paper. I'm just letting it dry in a little bit, otherwise it'll just end up too soggy. This £90 paper is very porous and it takes an enormous amount of water, so I'm just letting it sort of settle in a little bit before I start to put an initial wash on. I'm often asked if I would paint this or I could paint that. Could I do this sunset with a stormy sky? And the answer is yes, I probably could, but I probably won't, because when I sit down to paint, mostly I haven't got any idea of what I'm going to do, and anything that restricts my freedom to paint or improvise what I actually come up with would not be helpful. So you can ask, but I will politely decline. So I've just got a bit of paper out from the packet of paper, put it on the board and wet it, got my paints out, there they are. Radio plugged in, got a cup of tea, and what should I do? That's it, just about all the time. So no, I won't be doing any mountainous seas or stormy skies, unless I happen to do a stormy sky, but it will just happen. It's taken me years to get free enough to paint in a sort of a spontaneous, impressionist way. The only shortcut to all of this is practice. Practice, 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 and never giving up when you can't do it. I couldn't do it. Probably some of you will say I can't do it now. But I'm going to put a sky in. So I'll use a bit of alizarin for a change, and a bit of cadmium yellow. Get a bit of a okay. Now we'll put in a bit of ultramarine with a bit of ultramarine, bit of Payne's grey, bit of alizarin. Okay. Okay, let's just look at that for a minute and take stock. Just reclip the paper. You don't need to pre-stretch your paper before you use it, because just by reclipping it, you'll get it nice and flat. It's nice and flat now. Of course, as the water and the wet washes soak in, it will expand the paper. Then you just reclip it. Easy. Now I can see from my mental repertoire a sort of an estuary scene. So we can give that a bit of a dry, which I will. So take your headphones off or mute your sound. But what I want to do is to put a sort of a house. I'm going to use a 1/2 inch flat and just put a Right, let's add a bit of darker stuff on there. See what happens to that. Right, and we'll put in a bit of a Payne's grey, a blue, trying to leave a bit of a margin where I should put some shadow. Right. And we'll put that on a bit of a headland, so a bit of sienna, bit of blue. Thing is, with this paper you can't easily lift out. It's the nature of the beast, I'm afraid. Bit of foliage there, and okay, let's do a bit on the other side now. When that dries off a bit, I'll put a bit of distance in the back there, so a bit of green. My paint's being kept overnight in a stay wet palette. I encourage you to do the same with your watercolours, because you've got nice ready to go paint when you want it. A bit of umber. Okay, let's just put in some shadowy dark areas behind there. Go close to your clip. If you're clipping it, go close. Go close. You might try and lift out a little bit of that. Let's try. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it does. I think it would. Right, put a bit of foliage on the top here. Bit of Payne's grey and a bit of cadmium yellow. And a touch of sienna. A bit more water. I love using hake, even when they misbehave, as they often do. Right, let's come in with some lighter sienna, a bit of yellow. Okay. Right, let's put a bit of distance in there. Then I'll try and sort out that house. I didn't really give it much thought, did I? So we'll have a bit of blue, a bit of Payne's grey, pull out the loose hairs. We're going uphill there. Always a problem when you don't draw things out. Okay, let's just warm that up a little bit there. Right, a bit of a darkish headline coming out here. Right, okay, I'm going to give that a dry, finish my tea, headphones off, we'll do, let's just put a couple of rocking bits here. So I think maybe I would have been better if I'd well, at the moment the boathouse, or the house, or the boat building shed is two pitched roofs at each end, so I've got to do something with that. So I know what I'll do is I'll put a larger tree here and I'll cut into that. So that would solve my problem. See, this is the thing, when you're improvising, you have to be willing to compromise. So let's have some blue, some sienna, some cad yellow, and let's just yeah. Right. Okay, that's sort of a bit better. Let's get a bit of dark here. Okay, now that bit of shadow, right, now we want to do a bit of detail on there. Find a detail brush. Found it, second time. I still think we're going uphill there a little bit. I'm going to change that while I can. Now I've put my hake down, I don't know where it is. Only because I've got 30,000 brushes on the table here. Oh, I don't believe it. Oh, there. No, that's an old one. Now, can you see it? There it is under my paint tray, a palette. Right, go back to that colour. I'll clean that up in a minute. It's like sawing the chair leg off, isn't it? Oh well, waterlow. Get in with the bigger. This isn't a rough paper, it's not hot pressed, but it's not as rough as the rough, but it's a lovely paper. It's Winsor & Newton. When I rest on the sky, it's still damp. Boat. All helps. Okay. That's why it was damp. Because I That's why I put in my finger to rest. Okay, a little bit more. There's not a lot more I want to do with that. Bit of dry brush, I think. Just as the sky colours. Bit of blue, bit of Payne's, bit of Alice. That'll do, no more than that. A couple of birds. Two games of rugby to watch this afternoon, folks. England v Wales is the one I shall be most interested in. Right, nothing more to complicate things. Put a mount on it and have a look. Right, let's just put the blue mount on that. Okay, so now one thing, that chimney, from the log burner, inside that boat shed, putting a shadow on gives that a lot of light. Can't see I want to do any more to it. So I hope you enjoyed that. Let's just clean out that little bit there. Okay, that'll do. So it's got a lot of colour in that sky. Sort of a sunset or even a morning on the estuary. Morning on the estuary. If I dry that, so take headphones. I'm going to put a bit of gouache, white gouache here and there. Right, there's a brush, white gouache, wet the brush and squeeze some, oh it's just getting so stiff, this paint. Oh, a little bit. Just a white boat. I suppose we could Okay, that's do for the gouache. And put a bit of shadow under it. Right, okay, that's it. Better off with us. I'll go and upload this to YouTube now. Thanks for watching, folks. Don't forget to look at me on Patreon, see what it's all about. Would appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.